Okay, as promised, we have the second part of the 100-question quiz that I started yesterday, which is supposed to check if you're proficiency level. This is supposed to be proficiency level vocabulary and phrases and stuff. Not quite sure about that, to be honest. I think if you're not getting close to 100% on this, then you're really not proficiency level. I don't think yet. Doesn't mean you can't get there. If you watch all my videos, you surely will get there. Especially if you become a member. Blue button under the video, look at it. Anyway, let's go with the second half of the quiz, see if it gets trickier. I don't know if it will. Let's find out. Okay, so let's get straight into it. Number 51. It's important for salespeople to build a good alignment, insight, rapport, merit with their clients. Well, you need to build up like a good relationship, a good sort of feeling between the two of you, or a good rapport. Yeah, no doubt about that one. There's not much doubt about any of them so far on this supposedly C2 level quiz. Okay, good vocabulary though. During the economic boom of the 1970s, many families had income to spend. Inflatable, disposable, distorted, insolvent. Yeah, I think they had disposable income to spend. They had more than they needed, right? Excess. Okay, funds are those dedicated for a specific program or purpose. Deficient, earmarked, bootlegged, civil. Well, I think earmarked is it comes from cattle, that you would put a mark on their ear to show which group they belong to, or something specific about that particular cow. I guess you'd say earmarked funds are those dedicated for a specific program. Certainly not going to be deficient. Bootlegged means like a false, fake copy. Civil funds? I don't think that's right. I think it must be earmarked funds. Yeah, all right, let's see. Torontonians, sorry, people that live in Toronto are proud of their sports teams. E.g., i.e., P.S., E.X. I think E.g. means example. For example, people that live in Toronto. I think EX is the same. I think it also means for example. I.e., PS means what is it? I'm trying to think, because in Spanish we say post data, we put PD. I can't remember what PS stands for in English, but when you want to add extra information at the end of a letter, it's IE. What I mean by that is IE, and I can never forget what they stand for. These are all sort of Latin terms, aren't they? But yeah, I'm pretty sure it's IE, i.e. people who live in Toronto. Torontonians, i.e. people who live in Toronto. Yeah. As in, no? Unfortunately for Michael, his efforts to increase his height by stretching his body were offline, up to speed, in vain, on par. Well, when you do something in an effort to achieve something else and it doesn't work, your efforts are in vain, I believe. Okay, yeah, no problem. 56. The tone of my father's voice. The tone of my father's voice that he was not pleased with me. Strained, implied, soothed, gossiped. Yeah, no problem there. Implied that he was not pleased with me. Okay. If you down the bottom of the webpage, you should see a link that says careers. So if you go down, and what do we say when we're on our phone or on a computer? If you scroll down, scroll obviously coming from the the ancient scrolls, what you would read from now, a piece of paper that you would roll out. So we kind of roll down the page, don't we? When we're on the computers, you scroll down. Absolutely. Okay, the Olympic Committee released a statement saying it does not the use of drugs to enhance athletic performance. It does not expunge, it does not condone, it does not refute, it does not insulate. Well, yeah, I imagine it does not condone it. Quite the contrary, it condemns it and prosecutes it. So, yeah, absolutely condone. It doesn't condone it. Yep, doesn't support it. ISIL, the terrorist ISIL, right? Okay, ISIL. We've forgotten about that recently, hadn't we? ISIL, the terrorist organization. For some reason, they started liking calling it ISIL instead of ISIS. God knows why. ISIL, the terrorist organization, is for killing journalists and training children to become soldiers. Infamous, sensitive, careless, memorable. It's infamous. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's really, I've got to say, not very difficult. Some good sentences, some good vocab here, but really, I think if we're at C2 level, we should be getting all of these right, to be honest. Upon his death, the poor man had nothing to his sons except some old paintings and $100. Bequeath, devote, moan, ascribe. This is actually probably a word that we don't know, I guess, some of us. I think we would say bequeath, and that is to pass on to people, to his sons in this case. No, he's passing on his inheritance to his son. It was just some old paintings and $100. Even so, that's what he bequeathed to his sons. I believe that is correct. Okay. None of the girls at the bar were impressed by the guy's joke. It wasn't original or funny. Cheesy, lanky, mouldy, meaty. Yeah, if a joke isn't very funny and it's kind of cliched and it's... I don't know how you would really explain this, but it's cheesy. Something's cheesy, it's kind of unoriginal, perhaps a bit old-fashioned, sort of like a dad joke, no? Yeah, so we would say cheesy. Okay, Jenny is a heavy smoker. After the 10-hour flight, she was really scrambling, preserving, plunging, craving a cigarette. Yeah, craving. We talk a lot about the capriciousness of pregnant women. We talk about the cravings they have, right? Yeah. Funny how they always crave chocolate and stuff like that, isn't it? But anyway, I know cravings are a real thing. Whatever. Don't. God. 63. Last night I could hear my neighbours. Both people sounded very angry. Welding, chanting, rectifying, quarrelling. I think this is a word that probably gets misused quite a lot. And I assume the neighbours were quarrelling. No, they were arguing. Welding, interesting. Joining pieces of metal together. I doubt that's what they were doing. Though, I imagine if you're having to weld late at night, that might make you angry. But, yeah, definitely quarrelling. I didn't hear the whole speech, but I heard enough to get the temper, episode, gist, rarity. I think if you want to get the essence of something, you want to get the gist of it. No, I didn't hear the whole thing, but I got the main idea. No, the gist. Yeah, okay, 65. Jane had forgotten to take out her garbage before going on vacation. This is all American English, isn't it? The rubbish. So when she returned, there was a terrible badge, volume, stench, creak in her apartment. There was a stench. Yeah, really bad smell. No, because she forgot to take out the garbage. So when she got back from vacation, holiday, there was a stench. Yeah, absolutely. Kensaku likes to, when other people are speaking, so he can improve his English. Listening skills, revolve, meditate, don't know how that would help him, suspend, eavesdrop. Well, yeah, the word here is eavesdrop. It's when you you listen in on someone's conversation. It's really not a polite thing to do, eavesdropping. And it can be very embarrassing when people do it, to be honest. When you notice that somebody's listening to your conversation without actually being involved in it. And we all do it from time to time, don't we? We all eavesdrop, but not a nice thing to do. The flight attendant caught a of cigarette smoke, so she checked the cabin and washrooms to see if someone was smoking. She caught a mite, a glitch, a bout of an illness. No, she caught a whiff of cigarette smoke. She got a faint smell of cigarette smoke. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, some pretty, I got to say, even though it's not C2 level questions, I don't think, some pretty good vocab in here. So I would be surprised if a lot of people get 100 out of 100 here. You've got a very, very good level of vocab, no doubt about that, if you're getting 100 out of 100. Also, I would say, I think more than anything, it's that the options, 3 of the options are usually clearly wrong. Let's see. A doctor examined to determine the cause of the man's death. Well, the tension, the fuel, the corpse, the scar. Well, you'd imagine he examined the corpse, no, the dead body. No, that's not too difficult. The dog Sean stank slid sword because it hadn't been washed in weeks. Well, it smelled really bad, the dog, didn't it? So it stank. The Olympian was, in his interview, he said that he won because he was lucky. He was idealistic, stubborn, intimidating, humble. Yeah, he had a lot of humility. He said that he'd been lucky, which is a humble thing to say, I guess. Or shows a real lack of confidence. Anyway, 71. The new manager was, he fired 5 employees in his first week, was ruthless, upmarket, baseless, vacant. Yeah, so he was extremely sort of aggressive, essentially. No, he knew no bounds. He didn't care to be tactful. He was ruthless. Yeah, absolutely. Derek's at the meeting made everyone angry. He should learn to control his emotion. Recession, outburst, interval, treaty. So his when you let your emotions out, when you're a little bit emotionally incontinent, like most people are nowadays, you have an outburst. Yes, his outburst, he probably shouted or, used the incorrect tone. Got a bit angry, maybe. Yeah. People who have unprotected sex are with strangers. With strangers are apathetic, pertinent, devoted, susceptible to sexually transmitted diseases. Well, yeah, obviously they're likely to get them, aren't they? No, they're exposed to. They are susceptible to STDs. Good. 74. The manager told the others at the meeting that it was time to with the jokes and get down to business. Dispense, tamper, alternate, reckon. I suppose to get rid of the jokes. No. Tamper with the jokes. Alternate, reckon with the jokes. Dispense with the jokes. No, get rid of. Dispense with the jokes. The driver loudly barked, poked, honked, yelled his horn. Well, the horn, very clearly, it honks. No, you honk the horn. The driver loudly honked his horn at me because I was crossing the street. Illegally, I was jaywalking. Okay, Ryan was feeling outgoing, earnest, rundown, inhabitable. So he was feeling outgoing, earnest, rundown, inhabitable. Ryan was feeling... So he decided to stay at home and go to bed early. I guess he was feeling a bit ill, a bit tired. He was feeling run down. Yeah, very good. I heard a burial, commotion, ritual, coincidence outside, so I went to the window. I saw 4 men in the street arguing. Yeah, I heard a commotion. Yeah, some sort of loud noises. Distress, I think, is implied by commotion. The article was rejected by the scientific journal because it was too thorough, prejudiced, hilarious, subjective. It merely expressed the author's opinion without giving any supporting proof. Yeah, it was clearly too subjective, didn't use the scientific method. According to her diet certification itinerary warranty, she will be in Milan on June 3rd and Paris on June 8th, according to her diet certification itinerary warranty. It's her itinerary. No? The route she's going to take. Yeah, gotta say, more than anything, the problem here is the options. There in every single question, I've got to say that there are 3 options that are just clearly wrong. You know, if they'd have given me some different options there, I think I would have possibly got it wrong, like in many of these. But anyway, the pizzeria tried to learn the ropes, call the shots, cut corners, talk shop by using a cheaper cheese in their pizzas. However, customers noticed and sales dropped as a result. Well, they tried to do things more quickly in a cheaper way. They tried to cut corners. Yeah, obviously comes from racing. When you're racing around a track, if you cut the corner, you get there quicker. But it's cheating, you know. So the lesson was not very, so most of the students weren't paying attention. Engaging, apologetic, firm, detectable. Well, yeah, it wasn't very compelling. It didn't draw people's interest. It wasn't very engaging, a word that we use in a lot of different contexts, but has something to do with making a connection, essentially. Okay, 82. The chef received many curses, pardons, compliments, excuses from his guests about the delicious dinner he made. Well, we often say compliments to the chef. Yes, absolutely. You give compliments if the food is good. Really, again, I mean, it's clearly not going to be curses, pardons, or excuses, is it? I mean, for goodness sake. After the injury, Sandra's ankle was so humid, visible, flexible, swollen that she couldn't put her socks on, I guess. There's a word missing there. Well, yeah, it was clearly irritated. When joints get irritated, they tend to swell up. Her ankle was swollen, no doubt about that one. Okay, 84. Lenka's trip to the US happened to, with the American Thanksgiving weekend, so the airports were busy. Mingle, coincide, ponder, maneuver. The answer is obvious. It coincided with thanks. Mingle's an interesting word. I probably should have discussed some of these other words because there's quite a few of them that are very interesting. Mingle is what we do at a party now when you go and speak to people that you don't know. You get essentially to socialize, to get involved in a group. Ponder, to think about things. And yeah, okay. Some dishonest people submit insurance claims, vacant, legitimate, fraudulent, withdrawn. Well, I mean, if they're dishonest, they're probably giving fraudulent insurance claims, which is the same as stealing money from insurance companies. Yes, I suppose it is. The millionaire's appetite for women earned him the title of International Playboy. The last of the famous international playboys. The millionaire's lackluster, unabridged, insatiable, disoriented, insatiable appetite for women. Yeah, he couldn't be satiated. He was never satisfied. He always wanted more. Okay, the yachting team did not bring aboard many supplies for the race, fearing extra weight would prune, hamper, oust, levitate them from finishing quickly. I'm not really sure any of them are quite right, but 3 are clearly wrong. I think prune, oust, and levitate are wrong. Hamper them. To cause problems, would make it difficult for them, would hamper I would say would hamper them finishing quickly. Hamper them from finishing quickly? I'm not sure that's quite right. Okay. After calling an ambulance, Carol told the injured man to help was on the way. Carol told the injured man to break down, break down, hold tight, buckle up, freak out. I told him to hold tight. No, hey, hold tight. You know, it comes from riding horses. No, you hold the reins. You know, don't move. Hold the reins tight so that the horse doesn't bolt. Yeah, I think that one's again. I guess either you know it or you don't. But again, so obvious that the other ones are wrong. Diane fell down the stairs and expanded, fractured, dwindled. Reflected her wrist. Well, your wrist is a joint. There's bones in it. You can fracture it. Absolutely no problem there at all. Once again, Paul's job as a construction worker is... He has no energy left afterwards to do anything. Is swollen, draining, wholesome, accurate. Well, it takes away all of the energy. It drains the energy out of you. It's draining. Yeah, it's exhausting. Lara failed to read the small talk fine print, blue collar, red tape in the contract. Now she can't get her money back. The fine print, yeah, we often call it the small print. I think maybe it's probably in the UK we say the small print. Maybe in the US they tend more to say fine print. Small talk is obviously the conversation, the banal conversation you have with people that you don't know very well, talking about the weather and things like that. Blue collar is a worker who works in a factory, sort of low-level jobs, menial jobs, or sort of manual labour, things like that. All those kind of things are known as blue-collar jobs. I think that's an international term, isn't it? Blue-collar, white-collar. Coming from the blue overalls that factory workers used to wear, still do, obviously, in a lot of places, and white collar being sort of lawyers and things who have to wear white shirts in offices. Red tape, yeah, again, that's, I think, again, a term that people use all over the world to say that the sort of bureaucracy and things that mean action can't be taken in certain circumstances. Garth is usually a hard worker, but he today, because his boss was out, he combed through, wore away, slacked off, rinsed up. Maybe people don't know this one, perhaps, but he slacked off today. You know, he didn't work as hard as he could. He was a bit lazy. You comb through something, obviously you use a comb to comb your hair, so if you comb through something, you're looking at it in great detail, because you're combing through to see if there's any nits in the hair. Well, obviously figuratively, you can go through something with a fine-toothed comb to look at all of the things in great minute detail. To wear away is to erode, and rinse up, to clean something, essentially, to rinse it with water. No? All right. There was one major in the burglar's plan. Yeah, he didn't bring a big enough car to fit all of the stolen equipment into. Okay, so this is a fairly common expression. We often talk about heroes. All heroes have to have a flaw, don't they? And there was a flaw in this plan. You know, his car wasn't big enough to take all of the things that he planned to steal. Yeah, there's a flaw in the plan. Upbringing is your childhood, essentially, the way you were brought up by your parents. Okay, let's have a look at number... I'm sure there were flaws in his upbringing as well, if he's a burglar. 94, my job is so loyal, monotonous, immoral, conspicuous. Every day it's the same thing. It's monotonous. Yeah, no problem there. As a psychologist, Brenda has to into her patients' childhoods to find sources of trauma, has to surge, delve, meander, dribble. She has to delve into her patients' childhoods. Yeah, she has to go into it, to delve into something. I guess it kind of like means to go under the surface, essentially. Meander is what a river does. You know? Surge is like a sudden increase in energy. Figuratively, there can be a surge in certain behaviours in the public. There's a surge in violence, a surge in crime. Dribble can be to salivate all over yourself, or of course there's the sporting form of dribbling as well, to run with the ball. Professor Morgan has a deep interest in literature and art. He is a very appalling, damp, cultured, imprudent. He's a cultured man, a deep interest in literature and art. Yeah, that one's very easy. Mrs. Parker tripped, poured, cracked, proposed on the step of her apartment yesterday and fell down. I think she tripped. No, I don't think she poured on the step. No, she's not liquid. I don't think she cracked either. I don't think she's made of porcelain. And I assume she didn't propose to anyone and then fall over. Okay, number 98. Many economists are skeptical about the effect the armistice, embargo, panacea bailouts from the European Union will have on Greece's weak economy. Are they? They're skeptical. Yeah. Yeah, the bailout. Bail is the money that you get to get someone out, to get someone out of prison. We talk about the EU bailing out countries that overspend, like all of the ones in the Mediterranean, basically. Anyway, 99, we're nearly there. And despite the scandal, the law firm was able to, its most important clients, was able to infuriate, immerse, abuse, retain. Despite the scandal, the law firm was able to retain its most important clients. Yeah, it managed to keep them. And number 100, here we are. The company has made many changes since it changed ownership in 2002, has downsized, many changes, has undergone, overworked, upgraded. It has undergone many changes since it changed ownership in 2002. It has gone through many changes. Yeah. Okay, I think we'll leave it there for today. They're clearly all correct. I don't know if you've got anything that you want to ask me, but I'm going to leave it there for today. I think there are 25 more, I've just realised. Don't think I'm going to bother.